It is never the big things that catch you off guard. It is never the anniversary that you saw coming. It is never the obvious moment you embrace yourself for. It is the small thing, the automatic thing, the things you do without thinking until halfway through you realize you have started doing them in the first place. And then the weight arrives quietly without warning. Few years ago, there was a man with foundation beneath him can build almost anything. Welcome back to this channel. If you just finding this series, I'm glad you are here. We have been walking through the specific, quiet, often unspoken experiences that comes after a relationship's end. Not the dramatic ones, the ordinary ones, the ones that tend to carry the most weight. And if you have been here since the beginning, welcome back. We have covered so much ground together. The house, the money, the unanswered questions. Why the mind won't let go. And this last episode, one of the most honest questions in the entire series, whether you are missing her or you are missing what you had. Today, we are going somewhere more personal. We go into the habits, the small, daily automatic things that still carries her without asking your permission. So stay with me. Habits are sneaky. They don't announce themselves. They don't come with a warning that says this is going to hurt today. It just happen. You reach for 2 mugs instead of 1. You turn to say something to someone who isn't there. You find yourself buying the brand of coffee she likes, even though she hasn't been in the kitchen in months. You take the longer route home, the one that pass by places the two of you used to go, without consciously deciding to. You set the table for 2 out of pure muscular memory. You check your phone at a certain time of the day because that used to be when she do message. For a split seconds before they catch up, everything is normal and then it isn't. And the gap between those 2 moments, between the habit and the remembering, is one of the most disorientating feelings in all of this. Before we go deeper, if this series has been working alongside something in your life, share this episode specifically, because the habits, the small invisible reminders, are something almost every man going through these experiences, but almost nobody talks about. Pass it to someone who needs to know he is not alone in this. And subscribe now so you never miss the next episode. There is still more of this journey ahead and I want you present here. Let's continue. So what makes the habit so particularly harder is that they were built in love. They weren't just routine. They were the attachment of a shared life. The small, unremarkable rituals that 2 people built together without ever sitting down and deciding to build them. They just form naturally, quietly, over months and years of being in each other's life. And now they remain like grooves worn in the wood, like paths through grass that feet still remembers, even when the destination no longer exists. And sometimes you follow them without realizing until you arrive somewhere that used to make sense and doesn't anymore. And the cruelest part, the habits don't know she's gone. They just keep showing up, faithful to a life that has already changed. We'll be right back after a short break. Stay with me because after this, we talk about what you actually do with these habits, how you honor what they carry without letting them keep you anchored to what was. Welcome back. Here is the refrain I want you to hold on to. The habits are not the enemy. They are not sign that you are stuck. They are not proof that you haven't moved on. They are evidence that you love someone enough to build a life around them. And that is not something to be ashamed of. That is something to be understood, because every habit that catch you off guard is a small record of something that was real, something that matters, something that shaped the way you moved through the world. And the goal isn't to erase that. The goal is to gradually, gently begins to decide what habits still serve you and which one are quietly keeping you in the past that has already moved on without you. Some habits can stay, the ones that were just before her, the ones that made you who you are independent of the relationship. Those are worth keeping. But the ones built entirely around her presence, those can be gently released, not in a dramatical moment, but slowly replaced by a new rhythm, new ritual, new small daily acts that belongs entirely to the man you are becoming. So here is something practical to sit with. This week, pay attention, not obsessively, just with a gentle awareness. Notice the moment when a habit surfaces that carries out with it. And when it does, don't fight it. Don't shame yourself for it. Just notice it. There it is. That wasn't ours. It still lives in me. Acknowledge it with the same gentleness you would have offered a friend. And then, when you are ready, begin to ask yourself quietly, what could I replace this with that belongs to me now? Not immediately, not forcefully, but as a question worth sitting with. Because new habits don't form through willpower alone. They are formed through repetition, through small choices made consistently over time, through a man deciding, I am going to build a life that fits who I am today, not who I was in the relationship. One new habit, one new rhythm, one small daily act that is entirely yours. That is where the rebuilding begins, and it begins smaller than you think. One day, you will reach out for 2 mugs and catch yourself, and instead of the weight arriving, something quieter will come. Not happiness exactly, not indifferent, but a gentle acknowledgement that says that was then and this is now. And now is still what showing up for. And you will put one mug back, make your coffee, and you begin your day. Not in the shadows of what was, but in the quiet, steady light of what is still possible. And that moment, as small and ordinary as it sounds, will be one of the truest signs that you are healing. If this episode catch something you have been living with quietly, share it. Pass it to someone whose habits are still carrying someone who has already gone. Someone who needs permission to begin rebuilding something new. Subscribe so that you are here when the next episode drops. Because next, we go into the memories. The one that shows up uninvited. The one you didn't send for that arrived anyway. That episode is going to be one of the most honest in this entire series. Until next time, be gentle with your habits. They were built in love and they can be rebuilt in growth.